Good afternoon. My name is Alicia Bryant. I am a freshman at Northwestern University, graduating class of 2016. I am currently enrolled in a communications course that requires me to post an introduction of myself, as well as share some insight as to who I am and a formidable moment in my life that has shaped me into the person that I am today. Many may have wrestled with which defining moment to choose. However, for myself, this life-defining moment was unquestionable. My choice was clear. That moment for me is right now. You see, within the last couple of weeks, I have endured sadness like no other, have experienced a void that cannot be filled. I have gone my entire life evading one of life's most inevitable moments, escaping the impact of suffering through the cold, dark, unfortunate affair that has plagued and impacted so many. I have never had to hold someone as they wept because they had lost their husband, or had to quiet the sobs of those that had just lost their father or their son. That was until this very chapter in my life. That moment in which would change me forever. If only I could close my eyes just long enough, would that be long enough to take away the sadness and to bring back that which was lost? Would it allow me that one precious moment to sit at my father's bedside and hold his hand and stroke his hair one last moment? What if I closed my eyes just for a moment to find that the rattle of death that I had grown so used to hearing in the last couple of days, if just for that moment, that sound that thickened the air that I wanted so badly not to hear anymore, what if I closed my eyes long enough? Would it still remain, instead of that deafening silence that remained in its place? If only I could close my eyes, would the outcome be changed? Unfortunately, as much of our hearts would long for this to be the case, this is not the way that life works. It gives and it takes away. There is a beginning and an end, and for my father, that end was February 13th, 2013. At age 57, my father, Bill Gowan, a man that at one time was a healthy, vibrant man, whom I found worthy of moving mountains. After 7 months of battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer with metastases to both lungs and liver, took his final breaths and entered into eternity. His strength was unparalleled even in the weakest moments. He fought to live even when death quickly approached and wrestled with his ailing body to take him home. He fought. But life was not meant to be forever, at least not this side of heaven. In the midst of my sadness, my father continued to bless us. He continued to teach us only as a father can, and for that I am altered. You see, I never truly appreciated how fine a line between life and death was. The difference between how real being here right now and being gone forever is. I never allowed myself to recognize how evasive true peace is to those that are fearful. My father's fear would not allow his mind to slow long enough to face what was to be. He was dying. He would no longer be witness to his children's faces become weathered with age, or to hear the laughter of his grandchildren as they hunt for that elusive Easter egg hidden with money in it. And truthfully, they never did find them, and I don't think he ever did hide them. But that was just kind of the way that he was. But for my dad, there would be no more births and no more weddings for him to take part in. For my father, there would be no more. No more do-overs, no more tomorrows, only eternity. There was no time for anger. You can't face dying if you refuse to acknowledge it. In this, I think he found ignorance was bliss. Death did not have to grip its grips in my father if he refused not to see it. Though we now see, painfully certain, even if unspoken, death is irrefutable and will take captive of those of its choosing on death's timetable, not our own. You see, this experience has shaped me. My father's death has removed the scales from my eyes and allowed me some insight to many areas in my life as I have been led astray. It is on this day that I will choose to love more passionately. No longer will I take for granted that I am promised tomorrow, because the moral of my father's story is that we are not promised even one more moment. The legacy that he leaves behind is not bitterness or anger for losing my father at such a young age. No, if it were for those, I would miss the opportunity to recognize the beauty in the here and now. I will be grateful for the 57 years I was blessed with my father, not sorrowful for the time for wanting more. Although I would have taken it if it were offered. Sorry. If I were to dwell and focus on the negative, I will miss the glimpse of God's grace that he provided in our weakest moments. That although healing came in a different form than our prayers, we're asking for, it was healing all the same. Darn it. No longer is my father in pain. No longer does he struggle to breathe or fight to be. He is healed. And for that, today, I choose to be grateful. And because of that, I am forever changed.